Welcome to Keystone Eats, the podcast that brings you the latest and greatest information about Pennsylvania food and beer. Join me, the host, Alex, alongside my co-hosts, Danny and Joey, as we try out all the greatest from the restaurants and breweries in Pennsylvania and let you know if you need to try them too. Grab a beer and drink along on Keystone Eats. Hello, and welcome to Keystone Eats, the podcast that tells you all about your favorite Pennsylvania food and beer. Super local, super tasty, super delicious. Same kind of word there. I am your host, Alex, and I am joined by my one co-host, Danny Rosa. Hello, Dan. How's it going?
Hello, Alex. How are you this beautiful evening?
I am great. Quarantining at home as much as possible, staying away from people, staying away from
Society.
Yeah, so a week ago we put out our first little mini-sode, and we're back again to talk about some more beer here. Last week we had some delicious Saucony Creek, and I think even this week you really haven't gotten the chance to get any more. So
yeah, I have some left over. Been pacing myself.
That's good.
And you have
everything in moderation, right?
Yeah, and you have a little freezer of stockpile.
Yeah, I got a stockpile. I have plenty of beer that we can dip into during our quarantine times, and unfortunately, I'm still out in the grocery store, so I can read the shelves a little bit and buy some beer. So
today you're drinking Tröegs, and I'm here, and they are doing curbside as well, so you can order online. You can even do a brew finder to see where you can get it.
Yeah,
because they're pretty big. They're pretty big in this area.
Yeah, they're
and outside this area, honestly.
Correct. They're definitely one of our bigger breweries that we can go to. But still, they're all about PA, and they're all about getting that local stuff out there, and they definitely distribute a lot wider than most of our other local breweries. So it's a little easier to get their stuff, and in these strange times, it's definitely a go-to for us to make it a little easier. Yeah, we have I have two beers from them. That one I've been stockpiling a little bit, that I've been going through slowly, and one of their newer ones that just came out. Dan, why don't you tell us a little bit about Tröegs while you have their story pulled up on their website?
Yeah, so it's two brothers, one beer.
More beer.
When they were young in 1978, they were always kind of working together, crafting things, keeping themselves busy to entertain themselves. Obviously, as they got older, they kind of separated. John, the older brother, went to Philadelphia, and Chris went to Colorado. John focused on school, but didn't really want to go in the corporate world. And Chris was fascinated on the microbrewing scene. After a while, they both kind of got on board and decided to possibly start doing this. So that timeline zips up to 96. So after a bunch of crash courses of plumbing and welding and figuring out how to create a brewing system, they created something and started creating a business plan, and they moved back to Pennsylvania, launched Tröegs Brewery in an old warehouse in Paxton Street in Harrisburg, and sold their first pint on July 18th, 1997. And yep, it was the Tröegs Pale Ale. That's what they called it, a pint.
It's a pint.
Oh, pint. Yeah, I actually been watching a lot of British shows, so pint. Sorry.
Go on.
So in 97, this is where their story of Tröegs Independent Brewery begins. And then the lovely facility we see now is converted in 2011, where they have two brew houses, one for daily production and another for small pilot brewing system for research and development, which is pretty fascinating because I didn't know they did that. So they do scratch brewing.
Yeah.
You knew that, but I didn't.
They release little series on occasion that generally are only available at their location. But sometimes I have gotten a couple.
They might have like
been distributed.
Yeah, they might have like just a seasonal like test batch where they think it's good enough and they might bottle it.
Yeah,
But
it's super interesting to have a research and development department.
what better way to get
make,
feedback? You know what I
yeah,
mean?
to make new beers and to give them out to people and say, hey, do you like this? Like, is this something we should make normally? Like,
yeah, I mean,
it's very interesting
for a local type of little story like that. I mean, their beer list is phenomenal, and they have a wide range of beer. I mean, you can go weeks and weeks drinking their beers, and you know what I mean, and there's just so many. And then the scratch series is another whole aspect of it. Right now they're up to batch number 410.
A lot of different attempts at making different stuff. I mean, it's super cool. As 1 week ago, they're on scratch 407. It looks like it's a classic. Their take on a classic Munich Dunkel, and it looks like they got curbside pickup for it. So
yeah,
it's cool that they even like can those and sell them at their location.
Yeah, I mean their distribution's huge. So I mean, just swap
crazy.
out a label, create a new batch, just put it out there, try it. You know what I mean? They have their staples. I mean, they have their year round. They have their IPA, their Troganator. You'll see those a lot. The Dreamweaver is probably the most popular perpetual IPA.
Yeah, they definitely have their year rounds and their staples, like you said. It seems like they do follow a lot of they have like on their website they got a category called hop cycle, so it looks like they follow
in season.
Seasons. Yeah, it says the hop cycle represents our vision of the hop growing season. So yeah, I mean,
they know their stuff. They know their stuff. This is the epitome of a brew master's dream. Like they did it. They went there. They're mad scientists.
Really well.
Yeah, they are a master of their craft.
And we can both speak to their location. It's gorgeous there.
It's a sight to be seen.
It's a super cool place.
Unfortunately we didn't. I don't know if we didn't have time to do the tour or we just
they don't do
too late.
They don't do walk up tours. I think you have to schedule.
Yeah, and it was kind of like a spur of the moment. Like we're like, hey, let's just go to Tröegs and go actually see it for once. We're like, all right, and then we did it. But if we would have planned it, I would have definitely loved it. Done a tour.
Absolutely.
You get the sample and then the food's
I think
really
in the future
good too.
we can definitely make that happen. I'd love to get down there and check it out because it's a super cool facility and the building itself is very neat. They have a very open giant
industrial
area.
Feel.
Yeah, and they have like a little window where you can order food and everything there is super tasty. I mean, that same thing. They kind of rotate out the food on what they have available.
They also did I think if I recall, I'm trying to look on the website. They had like a pair as well with type of thing. So when you chose a food, they kind of like suggested a beer, kind of like they do with like cheese and wine.
Even on their website, they have a whole thing of what goes well with their beer. I mean, you can.
Yeah, I'm looking at that right now. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's super cool.
Not 100% sure if they're like super local or what. But they have like their staple food. I mean, it's I wouldn't say it's like a big meal. It's more of like a hey, let's go grab a bite and more focus on the beer.
Yeah, their food there is definitely
they have some so they have some pizzas, they have some little sandwiches, some pretzels, some hot dogs, some just nothing crazy, but I mean definitely like a good like hey, let's go for lunch and grab a little quick bite. You know what I mean? Something like that. And just, it's more for the experience, like to actually visit the brewery.
Yeah.
And if you can schedule it and do that tour, it's like totally worth it. Now, that's probably going to be first on our list when we can go running out our homes screaming freedom.
There's so many things I'm ready to do. I hate that it's April and I've done nothing.
I know. Now that we know how fascinating Tröegs is and their amazing beer list, and what if you literally just threw a dart, if you printed this out and threw a dart, like it'd be awesome. You can just choose a random beer and it's probably gonna be amazing.
Correct.
But what did you fall upon?
So I'm drinking. Actually, I just finished up a Nugget Nectar Ale, and it's IPA. It's one of their once a year beers. They usually have it on tap and they can it. I actually got a 12 packet of it. They use Munich Pilsner and Vienna malt. They hop it with Nugget, Warrior, Tomahawk, Simcoe, and
Palisade. Never heard of that one. It's an ale yeast, and the color is a nice straw orange color. Straw, as in like hay.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. It's a pretty interesting color.
It's a very good beer. It goes down nice and easy. That you can pick up on notes of grapefruit, pine, mango, and creamsicle, and I can attest to that. It definitely has some nice fruity flavors there, some nice smooth, sweet flavors there, especially.
So it's definitely a nice winter drinking beer.
Yeah, it's definitely a nice beer that you can sit down and enjoy on a chilly morning, chilly evening.
Evening or morning, depending. Don't judge the night shifters.
Yeah, true, fair.
I mean, we all know Joey likes to crack a cold one after a stressful day at work.
At 5:30 a.m.
Nah, they work him hard. He's supposed to get done at, I forget what time he's supposed to get done, like 7. He gets home at like 10.
It's got a 7.5% ABV and 93 IBU. That's hefty.
Yeah, that's way up there on the bitter scale. Would you say it's really bitter?
It's pretty bitter. But like it goes down smooth. Like it's not something that I'm not like I sip it. I'm like ooh. It's like I sip it. I'm like this is good. But like
I want more.
It hits you for sure. Looking at Tröegs puts up a bunch of information about their beer and their beer profiles. But looking at their beer profile, they put in a food notes section, something that shows you what the beer pairs well with food wise.
Yeah, I mean the food notes is pretty cool. So you could kind of like almost pre-plan what you want to make to pair it perfectly with this beer.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you're spending a night drinking some nugget nectar, you can look and see that. On their beer profile, they have pork belly pairs with it really well. Charred brisket, aged Gouda, a bunch of stuff, and like stuff like papaya and white peppercorns. The stuff that are good flavor pairings, and it's super interesting. And they even give you adverse flavors like asparagus, cinnamon, stuff that it wouldn't pair well with. So it's super cool how they give you that information if you're looking to make a meal.
You would never think of that. You know what I mean? You just
you crack open a beer and you make what you want to eat. But like if you really want to pull everything together and make a true meal around what you're drinking that night, like if you get a 12-pack of nugget nectar, you can make pork belly with seasoned with some white peppercorn and roasted carrots and really make it a meal that makes sense with it.
You can go all out because what else are we gonna do right now?
Yeah, it's true. If you once you don your mask and go to the grocery store and pick up some pork belly and some
so it's a good opportunity to support a local brewery, and they give you food notes when you go to the grocery store. Like, I'm going to get a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and I'm going to make my beer experience even better.
Yeah, it's super cool. I love that kind of information. I'm a man of data. If you can give me more information about something to make it better, I love it.
It makes sense though, because like sometimes depending on my dinner and if I have a variety of beer, I'm going to specifically choose a beer that I feel like will not, will pair good. Like a stout I'd be interesting to see like a food note on that coffee stout I had, because it's like,
a stout like that.
It's heavy.
A nice heavy stout, like that's something like you want like a chowder with, right?
Right. That's what I want, something that like warms my soul, and then it hits me with that stout, and it's like okay. But so like
having that information that says, hey, like this nice light, bitter beer pairs well with something like a pork belly that would really complement the flavor. It's nice to know that. Yeah,
like salty, savory.
Something that you might not necessarily know. Like obviously, like it's easy to pair a stout to something that's like nice and heavy and warming, like a chowder or a heavy soup.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be drinking a stout and eating like a chicken salad. Like a Caesar, I wouldn't, Like, I don't know. It just wouldn't make sense. I've probably done it, but
you want to shandy at that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's super good information, and I'm glad they put it on their website. It's good to have for sure.
Yeah, they go out. They go all out. They are, even just trying to support locally. I mean, nationally, they're known. You know, what I mean, they're big.
They're getting there. I mean,
I don't know about 100% nationally, but they're growing.
We're in a bubble here, so
yeah,
it's hard to say.
But I have seen it. Like I went to North Carolina and all that. And I've seen their bottles. It
definitely
there.
seems like a little bit of East Coast. They're
probably
there. They have a big facility. They're working. They have a warehouse that's running 24/7. So
yeah, so maybe now we just buy some cheap airline tickets and plan trips in the future.
That's for another podcast. Keystone Eats Goats worldwide.
Worldwide,
nationwide. We're here to try the beer. I hate that. That sounded good.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Moving on to my other beer that I got from them is a beer called Haze Charmer. It's one of their year rounds. It is a hazy pale ale, dry hopped. Super cool label. Looks like it's right out of like a Ouija board. You know
I was gonna say it looks like a dream catchery type of.
There you go.
You know what I mean? Like but the Ouija board makes sense.
That too. It looks like a little witchy. I think my partner Alex would very much enjoy that.
What is it? Illuminati, whatever. Like the little.
Yeah, it has the triangle with the eyeball. Haze Charmer has honey malt, malted wheat, oats, pale malt, and unmalted wheat. It's hopped with Citra, El Dorado, Lotus, and Mosaic. Sorry. And it's brewed with a London 3 yeast. It has a nice light flavor. It's definitely a departure from drinking the Nugget Nectar, which I would say is a little heavier. The Haze Charmer has a little more of a nice citrusy grapefruit pineapple flavor, which they say on the website they taste juicy pineapple, fresh grapefruit, candied peach, and a hint of white pine. And I agree. It's very light. It's not super heavy. It's not super bitter.
It sounds good.
I like. Yeah, it's definitely a nice taste to it. It's definitely a good regular beer. It's 5.5 ABV, so it's not hitting you like a brick wall.
So it's a year-round beer, but when would you want to drink this? Where would you put your food pairing? Would you be drinking this with like a burger?
It would definitely be a nice summer, like out barbecue, good flavor, something with, nice lighter flavors, like a good, veggie grilling. Like the other day, like I was grilling asparagus and mushrooms and everything, corn. Definitely a good like barbecue beer, and nice and warm out, hanging out outside. You know how it is.
All the things we can't do.
All the things we can't do. 6 feet. As long as we keep 6 feet apart.
Yeah, I mean, we might. I mean, I'm definitely ready to go camping. So as long as we just camp 6 feet apart, good.
Yeah, just you lead the trail, and I'll follow you.
Just don't touch any of the trees I touch or anything. And
correct. Don't piss where I piss.
Yeah, we're good. So that's it. I mean, I know I've had a few Tröegs myself.
For sure, it's definitely.
They're popular. They're popular in our area. I mean,
it's
any supermarket, any brewery, or not brewery, beer distributor, they're gonna have.
Yeah, and it's definitely one of the beers that we grab when grab a 12-pack when we're all gathering together to have a good time. So.
Oh yeah, it's definitely like hey, we're hanging out, and I'm gonna go to your place or whatever. Usually that's one of our go-to beers.
Yeah, if you're coming to hang out, grab a 6-pack. Hang by the fire as you tend to do with your beer.
But when things are back to normal, it's definitely going to be one of our first places to visit, get a brewery tour. Our significant others haven't gone there, so they definitely want to experience that themselves.
Alex has.
Has she?
Yeah.
So when things are back to normal, we're definitely going to check them out.
Definitely get back there.
It's just nice to see. I mean, it's nice to see these two guys start something themselves, and it's just growing and growing every year. And like I said, they are a master of their craft, man. The stuff they come up with, the names, the flavor profile, the passion that you see them put into this, and doing those food notes and stuff like that. It's awesome.
On every level, they're knocking it out of the park. Like you said, with the beer, with the location, with the
the in-person,
Yes, their location we even mentioned is in Hershey. So if you guys want to go out there,
Yeah.
if you're passing through, I mean, you're not going to miss it. It's huge. I mean, definitely make a pit stop when things are normal, or
for sure.
if you're passing by and just do some curbside. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if you want to grab a 4-pack, be like, hey, that haze charmer sounds delicious, and it is. It is very good.
I definitely want to take part of their scratch series. I want to have some input in their beer.
Yeah, absolutely. That would be huge. I imagine if we had some scratch series on here, it would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a place to check out. But like I said, hitting home on every. I mean, their website, super informative. Their labeling and everything, super cool. I mean, I love their aesthetic. It's super pretty. It's really cool. Like I said, with the Ouija board and the witchiness to the haze charmer.
I like the Troganator label.
Troganator is super cool. I mean, one of my favorites of theirs is the Mad Elf. Every Christmas.
The Mad Elf is definitely. We'll definitely be talking about that when it's in season.
I got some 2-year-old Grand Cru we're gonna hit in December. Wait till you taste that. Yeah, it's a super cool place. It should be one of the stops. If you're ever near Hershey, you need to be there. I mean, obviously right now it's a little iffy, but it's definitely a place to check out if you like beer, if you like local beer. You got to go to Tröegs. Everyone talks about Tröegs.
We'll touch base on my beer.
Yeah,
Saucony Creek.
Last week we talked about Saucony Creek, and Dan still quarantining as he should. Besides going to work, still has some Saucony Creek ready to go.
Yes, because I'm essential.
What do you got there, Dan?
This was the last of my 4-pack, and it is the Jazzberry Lager.
Ooh,
now,
go ahead.
Unfortunately, it's not on their website.
Yeah,
they do a pretty good job, but for some reason, it might be something like kind of new, or I don't know.
It sounds like something they don't normally carry.
Yeah, it's definitely, I've never seen it before, so I'm sure it's one of their seasonal or one-offs. The little bit of research I did, some people drank it, so it seems like maybe they do it once in a while, but
okay.
I don't know if they just kind of like don't keep it on their website like Tröegs does.
Yeah.
But it's a good beer. It's a 5%. It's a lagery color, but it has a little hint of pink, it being jazzberry. But it's not very berry though. I mean, when you're drinking it, it's just a subtle hint of berry. It's good. It has good drinkability. I mean,
cool.
It just, the label just looked kind of like stood out. It has like that almost looks like a neon lights kind of jazzy feel, like disco-y kind of like label. So kind of just like stood out. It looked pretty cool. I was like, I'm gonna try it.
Yeah, definitely worth picking up. You say it doesn't really have much of a berry profile behind it.
No, it's not strong. It's subtle. Like if you're drinking it, you're just like, it doesn't slap you in the face. It's just like nice and smooth, and it's just
compared to other lagers. What would you say? Is it has a nice good lager profile? I mean, lagers are an interesting beer, so
yeah. I mean, their staple is their Kutztown lager, and I usually get that.
Yeah,
and I mean it's up there on that. Like you can tell it's a lager, and this is more of my wheelhouse. Like I like lagers; they're just smooth. But I mean, I am leaning more toward IPAs, I guess.
I mean, you're leaning towards beer, and let's be honest.
Yeah.
It's just that most beers out there are IPAs.
Yeah, it's kind of everyone's wheelhouse now. But like, if I were to choose like 2 beers to drink from anywhere, like it'd usually be like a stout and a lager I want to try.
For sure.
And this one's good. I mean, I'm guessing it's seasonal. I mean, it's definitely a summery beer. Like, definitely floating down the river, drinking this.
Which is interesting. Do you know how lagers brewed?
I remember we tried to dabble it when we were brewing, and I knew the lager was a little more complicated to make.
A lager is very complicated to make because it's the yeast strain that brews a lager is most active at cold temperatures.
Huh.
So it's interesting to see, a nice light lager that's, obviously lager. There's some light lagers out there, especially American beers.
Yeah.
But have a light, berry, subtle berry flavored lager is interesting, especially a beer.
Yeah, it's almost like shandy-ish. You know what I mean? Kind of like
yeah.
It has that berry citrusy feel, but you can tell it's a lager, so it's almost like a hybrid. It's pretty good. I like it.
Yeah, it definitely sounds good. Yeah, we said last week, definitely check out Saucony Creek, and same thing. I mean, they're good stuff. Again, just as good, as last week as they are this week. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, luckily for me, they're right down the road. So
yeah, it makes it
when
easy.
I run out, I just go there and see what they got. I usually try to just choose a different variety. You know what I mean? Like I said, I normally when I was going there like physically, I'd get the Coast Town Lager or usually get a flight just to try different things. Yeah. But they mix it up too. I mean, they have their one-offs, they have their normal on tap, but they also, if I recall, they kind of like partner up with like local cider places too, because sometimes they offer some cider.
For sure, and honestly, you see that in a lot of places that a lot of breweries. I mean, my local brewery has up the road is a place that makes cider, and they sell their cider in their brewery. So it's definitely something you see often. I think even when we were at Tröegs, we got a cider that was
not
somewhere else.
Yeah.
That cider knocked me on my ass too.
Yeah, and that's the cool thing about this relationship that breweries have. You know what I mean? Like it's not a dog eat dog type of competition.
For
it's
sure.
Like, hey,
I mean, it's everyone working together to make good stuff. I mean, that's what we like about it.
It's an appreciation of the beer. You know what I mean? And it's nice to see that. You know what I mean? Maybe I understand like a brewery not carrying someone else's beer, but like the cousin, a cider. Why not?
Yeah, they work together. I mean, like you said, places that are 5 miles within each other. Like, hey, we work. We sell. We have tables where we sell food and beer. I mean, let's bring in your cider too. We'll buy it in bulk.
I thought Tröegs even had like some sours too. I thought.
Yeah, they had a bunch of different stuff, and we definitely got to get back out there and check out once the world's back to normal to check out what they got from local places, and definitely write down some of the names of the places that they carry their stuff from. And check them out directly.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
That's one of the great things. You can go to these places. You can go to Tröegs and be like, wow, I learned about 2 or 3 other places that make awesome stuff. I mean, it's one big web of places that connect together and work together to make good product. I mean, that's the main goal here, is to make good stuff and showcase other people's good stuff. I mean, it's a fantastic world, and Pennsylvania is one of the few places that can do that. Honestly, I think it's crazy to me living in Southeast PA. It might be more different towards the middle of the state, but living in Southeast PA, we can have, like you said, have a local brewery down the road that we can buy product from. It's nuts to me.
And knowing it's local, and it's weird. We live in like a somewhat suburban area, but it's a mixture of farmland. So we have the normal.
Yeah, you don't live in a suburban area.
Want and need. Yeah, I mean, we have those local things we want and need, but not even like 5 minutes down the road it's farms. So it's like, it's like a weird, awesome.
It's a weird
culture. Yeah, like we have the normal things. Hey, you want to go buy a TV? Boom, go to Best Buy. Hey, you want to go to a farm and get some fresh vegetables? Boom, okay, got it.
Boom, it's there. Yeah. I live by 2 farm stands that sell all local produce. I mean, across the street from me is a pumpkin patch. But then down the road is a town. Like,
I have farms all over, and one side I got farms, the other side I got a college next to me. So.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy, and that's one of the reasons why we started this. I mean, Pennsylvania's got so much to offer. It's such a strange place.
There's a lot of little things that we've driven by day after day and not even thought. You know what I mean? And we're probably missing out on so many awesome little unknown mom and pop shops that it's just, now it gives us more reason. Hey, let's put it out there. Let's help our community grow in these little unknown places. Like,
not only help
like a major chain restaurant. I don't know how long.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I'm trying to get away from. It's why am I supporting these places that are across the world when I can support the one location? Yeah, I mean, it's
and you hear these stories. Like, this has been an awesome just little experience we've had now just doing this. I mean, this is what I wanted to do. I've thought about it, and hopefully, once we start getting, more motion here and we can start, visiting these, we can get more personal stories, get like, interact with the people and hear how they started and what they do and why they do it.
Yeah, that's I mean, Tröegs is a wonderful place, and I think everyone should, if you're nearby, or even if you're passing through, East Coast, see if your local distributor, beer place, anywhere has their product, because it is fantastic. And bringing up Saucony Creek again, that Dan had, it's a wonderful beer. They're super local. They're
smaller scale,
Kutztown. Yeah. Absolutely, they're smaller scale, but
same passion though. They got the same passion. They're
correct.
They're
They're growing. They have those 2 locations now, which is huge. Super cool place, super cool food, super cool beer. Definitely gotta check it out. That's our second mini-sode here. Thanks for checking it out. I hope you liked it. I'm hoping that once the world has gotten back to normal, we can get back to a normal podcast
with food and beer.
Yeah, we definitely want to hit that food category. This is more of a, sit here, chat, talk about what we're drinking, because obviously we're still drinking during this this end of the world situation here.
Yeah, I think everyone's drinking more than they normally do.
Yeah, talk about it. Seriously, it's nuts. Yeah, we want somewhere. Correct. So, I mean, I was starting to drink at like 2, but anyway. Yeah, it's something that we hope to get back into the normal swing of things here. But until then, I hope you enjoy our little mini season here, our mini little prelude here to our main event eventually.
Just keep
coming out. We want to keep the content coming, and we want to keep talking about what we're drinking, what we're eating. I'm gonna see if I can get some. Yeah, give us suggestions. Give us. Tell us what you're drinking. Tell us help us
find beers. Let us know what you're drinking. Give us some recommendations. Let us know what to look for. Support local.
Absolutely. Let us know what you're drinking. Let us know what you're tasting. We love when you guys reach out. We want to talk to you guys more. We want to talk to the breweries and the restaurants and everything more. Let us know what you think. I think we're having a good time here, and we want to make sure you are too. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at Keystone Eats. We have a website, keystoneeats.com. You can listen to us at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts coming soon. Should be by this time. It should be up.
Just about anywhere you can listen to a podcast.
Yeah, anywhere you can listen to podcasts.
Alex is putting all the legwork.
I've been doing so much work, man. It sucks. Yeah, come listen to us. Give us some feedback. Check out our website. Contact us. Tell a friend. Make sure you get a friend to listen. You got a friend who's into Pennsylvania food and beer. Be like, hey, check out this cool podcast. They talk about food and beer from Pennsylvania. Until next time, we should be back soon. Hopefully with some new beer. Maybe a full crew. Hopefully this quarantine ends. Probably not. Give us feedback. Let us know. Give us suggestions. Follow us on Instagram. Check out our website. Thanks. That's it. Bye now.
See ya.